You vicious brute! All right.
9 days, people. At the time of this recording, Starfleet Academy has been out for 9 days. Critics on YouTube and social media platforms, YouTube critics have been ripping it apart, and rightfully so, because this thing is garbage. But rather than continue to rant on Starfleet Academy myself, this particular video is about people, critics, and those who criticize the critics. Is it wrong for YouTubers to have an opinion of their own about something that they think has gone down the wrong path? Do we have a right to criticize the showrunners for deconstructing something that has existed for over 60 years and turn it into something that doesn't even resemble what the very reason people fell in love with in the first place? Yes, I have a right to have my opinions as to why Star Trek has become a train wreck and why Paramount has abandoned its fans.
Way too close to my face. God, I'm sorry. No! There we go.
Oh, no.
Ever since the universe exploded into existence, there have always been people out there criticizing someone else. From the very moment someone says something, someone else is right there to say, well, I disagree with that, or I strongly agree with your opinion. There has always been a critic criticizing for or against something or someone. Now we've got this rag, the Mary Sue, and this author, Rachel Leishman, those dude bros, mad at Starfleet Academy, aren't exactly Star Trek fans. Even before the internet came along, critics were always out there criticizing the works of other people, movie studios, television studios, record studios. Siskel and Ebert are a clear example of how critics existed. Now, these people, everyone enjoyed watching these two go back and forth over whether they liked or disliked movies and television shows. But the point is, again, critics have existed. And even after these people come out and make their opinions, other people will come out and criticize these two. It is a natural flow of life. But according to the Mary Sue, that's just not right. Again, I will repeat this. Those dude bros mad at Starfleet Academy aren't actually Star Trek fans. Time and time again, we are confronted with fans of something who continue to miss the lessons within the media they're consuming. We've seen it with Star Wars, our superhero stories, and it has become an increased problem with Star Trek fans.
Would you do me a favor? Would you please shut up?
Men like the Critical Drinker and Nerdrotic, known for hating anything that seems to be left-leaning, has been dodging on the Paramount Plus slate of Trek shows. The issue with these right-wing figureheads talking about Trek is that they miss the one important detail about Star Trek. It was never for them.
Illogical!
What I have come to realize is that there are men in the world who just want to pretend that they are fans of this stuff. When they actually don't care. They'll buy Spock dolls and pretend like they understand the show itself. But in reality, the reality is that they just buy nerdy things and make it their personality. That's fine. Be a collector, dude. But don't act like you understand the franchise when they argue against everything you stand for. Lady, you are so out of touch with what these people are trying to explain to you and to the studios and to these actors and to the showrunners. You are not getting it. They have no problem with diversity, equity, and inclusion up to a point. Alec Kurtzman made it very clear at the beginning when he started his show, Star Trek Discovery that he was going to use the series and the franchise more as a platform to promote the message rather than give us science fiction. Now, if that is what you signed on for, that's great. But don't you dare tell me that people like Nerdrotic and Critical Drinker don't care because they actually love the franchise that they grew up with and don't want to see it turn into the crap that you are just idolizing over.
There's also an arrogant white guy from a privileged background who's there to be arrogant and white, and a Klingon who's abandoned the warrior code to get in touch with his sensitive side because he enjoys bird watching. I'm not even making this stuff up. You know, I'm old enough to remember how much of a ruckus it caused when Worf showed up on the bridge of the Enterprise in TNG. Yeah, he was a Starfleet officer, but he was still very much a Klingon at heart, always wrestling with the violent impulses of his nature and his warrior upbringing. I don't know what the fuck this dude is supposed to be, but it's not a Klingon, that's for sure. So the gang set off on their first cruise, but oh no, they get ambushed by Paul Giamatti, and before you can say shitty contrived writing, the Athena's out of action quicker than a college girl at a drinking contest.
Critical Drinker has over 2 million people subscribed to his channel, Mary Sue, and a lot of people believe that he is speaking for them because it is quite clear that the studios don't even know how to speak, let alone listen to their audience anymore. He may be a little brash, a little sarcastic with the way he expresses himself, but the man gets his point across.
Gone are the days of a show that explored issues through allegorical science fiction while never talking down to its audience, while also being entertaining and engaging with episodes like The City on the Edge of Forever, The Best of Both Worlds, The Inner Light, In the Pale Moonlight, The Measure of a Man, Yesterday's Enterprise, Balance of Terror, Duet, Space Seed, Chain of Command, all featuring characters that in some cases are so iconic, people could name them on sight without having watched a single episode of Star Trek. It was the first TV show to have its own conventions. It influenced real-world science.
I want Star Trek.
Alex Kurtzman commenced debuggering Gene Roddenberry's and Rick Berman's optimistic vision of a united future by turning it into a dark, nihilistic vision of the future, filled with excessive violence, including but not limited to widespread death, torture, and cannibalism, or more accurately, sentient consumption. Then, of course, there's all the modern vernacular.
Dude creeps me out.
You want to be ass deep in Romulans for the rest of your life.
And don't think we won't kick your ass, dirtbag, because we will.
I don't believe this dialogue. Did humans really talk like that?
Foul language.
Pissing me off.
Shut the f up. Cheeky f***ers.
Nobody pays any attention to you unless you swear every other word.
Your argument that right-leaning internet content creators such as myself, Critical Drinker, and Nerdrotic, well, we don't have a place in Star Trek because of our political views and the way we feel about Star Trek clearly demonstrates that you don't have any idea of what Star Trek is all about. Star Trek is indeed a very inclusive franchise. Various races from all across the galaxy interacting in one massive federation. That is what made the place so beautiful, what made the franchise so attracted to so many people, because despite our differences, despite our problems, we could push them all aside and grow and become a better advanced society. But you, my dear, and your organization and people like you are the reason that we have our problems. It's not that we don't want people included in the series. We don't want the ideology that's being shoved down our throats. We are sick and tired of characters being pushed that have no reason to exist in the universe of Star Trek in the first place. The whole point of your argument is so pointless when you consider this cast of characters and the fact that they are so left-leaning themselves, and the fact that you are so blinded by it that you can't even see it. We want Star Trek. We don't want left-leaning, right-leaning. We don't want middle-leaning. We want science fiction. We want Star Trek. And I definitely agree with Nerdrotic on one very important fact, that back in the day, Star Trek was more masculine. Nowadays, it has been feminized so much that it doesn't even resemble anything that looks like Star Trek. In the end, Mary Sue, I think I can end this video with one very nice, very sentimental way of trying to make you understand how I feel and how many other Star Trek fans feel about this. Keep your touchy-feely, sentimental Mary Sue nonsense out of my Star Trek, and we will get along fine. I would love to hear all your thoughts and comments on this subject. So please, drop those comments below and let me know. Until the next time, my friends, God bless.